You know, last week, our first card that we got was the Strength card, which is the Leo card. And I think that this is actually really strong and present in this reading tonight, which is really interesting. And I think that it's really speaking to how this moon cycle is going to be a lot different than the one that we're closing right now. The moon right now is in Libra. We started the moon cycle with a Libra solar eclipse, and now we are closing it out in this balsamic moon. And we could be feeling really heavy right now. I think that it could be feeling really heavy if this moon cycle was tense and we, gosh, I just feel like this energy really demanded us to be spiritual warriors, right? And to really be able to not react and, you know, allow space for interaction with everyone, really. But I feel like especially in places like work or places where we hadn't really learned to create better boundaries. Like maybe this moon cycle really showed us where there was a lack of boundaries. And I think that with this Libra moon, it's also coming into focus, right? So these like impressions and themes, I feel like are kind of coming back in. So this balsamic moon is really powerful. And this new moon itself for some kind of really intentional release, right? A letting go. And I think that Scorpio season and Scorpio new moons always, they have this touch of old ghosts, right? It's like, what is haunting you? What is haunting you about, you know, this past year, you know? Or maybe it's something that has been haunting you for a while, right? So that is coming really strong into our awareness, perhaps, right? Just this is the season. And so there is a lot of new energies moving around, and why don't we just get into it and see what the cards are telling us. I think that it's so great how the cards really correlate to what's happening in the sky. So the first card we have here, which represents us, the reader, right? This is the energy around you, death. And it's the sun. The sun is in the sign of Scorpio. This is the Scorpio card. It's also the Pluto card, right? Because Scorpio also rules the planet Pluto. So this is Pluto, Scorpio energy. And so this is really descriptive of the sun right now. And I feel like the sun has been decreasing in light since actually August, like since the summertime. You know, we reached the zenith already in the summer, and in Leo season it was already declining, but now we actually really do feel the declining of light, right? So this is like kind of the death of the sun as well, right? And the energy that is crossing this death card is the 9 of Wands. So this card kind of speaks for itself. You've been through some shit. But, you know, you have gone through a lot of battles, and, you know, you're skilled at the shit that's coming, you know, that may be coming. And maybe this is also speaking to hypervigilance, right? Some paranoia. Scorpio season can make us paranoid as well, right? But I think that this actually speaks to some mastery. So this correlates to a Sagittarius moon, actually. And so right after this new moon, of course, the moon is going to be moving into Sagittarius. So, yeah. I think there's some really strong fire coming in, right? That we're going to be feeling really strongly once this new moon starts to separate, right? So we have the new moon on Friday, early in the morning, okay? Like, I mean, in New Jersey, I think it's about 9 o'clock. Okay, so we have this energy crossing the death card. Maybe it's really taken us a long time to get to this place of surrender and release. So again, back to this idea of the zodiacal year and this time of letting go. we kind of don't have the energy to hold on to bullshit, right? It's kind of like when we go into the darker months and the colder months, we really need to conserve our energy. So, we're in this place probably like, I give no fucks, zero fucks for this or that, and that's the way it is. And in a way, it's a very clarifying time. Scorpio is about getting below the surface. It's not like the surface of the skin. It's like bone deep. You get to basically the heart of a matter, right? It brings clarity. Pluto brings clarity. And so, yeah, I think it could have been a hard death that we're moving into, something that we've actually resisted and is kind of painful, right? That it's something that we've been fighting in this moon cycle, this very powerful moon cycle with these eclipses that we've just went through. So, I always remember this expression about eclipse season. It's like, let go or be dragged. And I think that this one was really speaking to that. There was so much need to let go of things more easily, because if we didn't, we could have really been building up a lot of tension. This week, we have a lot of aspects that are oppositional energy with Mars and Pluto and Mercury and Scorpio across Uranus in Taurus. And so, again, it's like this polarity going on of really powerful opportunities for release and being freed from something, and also feeling the pressure, right? So we have those two energies right now. And what's really crowning this reading is, it's so interesting because we've gotten this card a few times recently, and it's the Six of Swords. So this is fixed air energy. And, this is I'm sorry, I was interpreted the same way. You're leaving a tumultuous, chaotic situation that you're moving away from. This actually can really speak to that Mercury and Uranus opposition, right? So Mercury is the mental and the mind and how we're organizing our mind. And Uranus is really the planet that offers liberation and freedom. So we can actually be feeling liberated from a certain mindset, a certain self-talk, self-criticism, inner critic, I think that this could very well be a very strong, internal thing that's happening. Or it could really be like saying something that you can't take back. Right? Like speaking a truth. Mercury and Scorpio, again, it's not skin deep, it's bone deep. It's bone deep, it's deep. It can cut real deep. And, it's kind of like there's things that you can't take back, right? When we say things, and especially things that we do, right? So there could be this idea of there's just no turning back. And again, that's like kind of death. Death is really final. Right? So this is the energy here. And, the energy is ripe for surrender and release, right? So what's grounding this card is actually really great. This is the Queen of Wands. And this is fire energy. It's feminine energy too, but there is a confidence here, and just like, look, there could be fear right now. Scorpio season brings fear, like I was saying, paranoia, but, thinking about things in matters that can feel kind of terrifying, right? Like when we're letting go of BS and we don't have any ground to really ground us sometimes, right? When everything seems to be falling underneath our feet. But this is an energy that's just doing it anyway. And that's what courage is, right? Courage is acting in spite of fear, right? It doesn't mean that fear's not there. It means like you are moving through it anyway. You're moving through the unknown. So this is a really great confidence card that's coming through, and I love the little cat that's sitting there. Very strong Leo energy. Actually, I am drinking this lovely tea. A friend had actually recommended me this, and I remembered her saying and mentioning Motherwort. And Motherwort's really great for the heart. Actually, the scientific name, I think it's, what is it? I wrote it down. Leonurus Cardiaca. So that means lion-hearted. And so this is going to something that could be a beautiful heart tonic to help you move through the Scorpio season, right? And so I just wanted to mention that. And since we're in the season of the witch, this is very much, about tapping into the earth medicines like herbals, and things like that. So that's a great one. And this is so present right now, this energy. So what is our recent past? So this is grounding the situation. This is grounding the reading. And this is the energy we're moving away from. This is in our recent past. The Ace of Wands. And we did have this card last week, which is so interesting. I think that there is an inspiration. There's a lot of fire coming through. After Scorpio season, we're moving into Sagittarius season. Mars is moving into Leo, which is really fantastic. Mars is slowed down, and maybe that's okay. We have this slow, easeful kind of fire, like smoldering fire here. The Ace of Wands, is really supporting this courage that's coming through. And I think the trend right now is to really lead with the heart. That's what Leo energy is all about. So the energy coming forward is the Five of Wands. So there's a lot of different points of view coming in here, a lot of different strategies coming in, and it might be hard to really decipher what direction to go into, or a space where you have to reconcile a lot of different energies coming in, right? By way of people. I don't know. With this creative vision, there is this, there's going to be a process that you're moving into of coordination, right? And coordination, really. So fives indicate change. It is this of the planetary energy of Mars. So, there's tension, but tension can be productive, right? Tension can create creativity and also clarity and focus, right? So this is kind of what's ahead. This is like what we need to work through. Yeah, so there's a lot of inspiration coming from many different directions. So it's great, right? So far this reading has been really great, really speaking to the current atmosphere here, astrologically, the astrological weather. So we are feeling like we can rest into what is moving right now. Like, this is actually this is slow. This is earth energy, the Queen of Pentacles, right? So this is earth energy. This is a slowness. And as you can see, the Queen of Pentacles, this is a feminine energy, of course, this queen, but also earth is feminine. And there is this slowing down and also this looking inward and being reflective and introspective. So with these two cards coming in, Queen of Pentacles can also really be descriptive of, speaking to Virgo energy. And I feel like we mentored really strongly this last cycle of Virgo with the analytical mind and the way the mind organizes things. So I think that we should be giving ourselves a lot of time for inner reflection and really being able to distinguish our energy from other people's energy, right? Because once we do that, we could really... This is such a great card. Wow, this is like one of the best cards in the deck. Ace of Cups. This is like a new love, a new creativity, an offering coming forward, right? And with this receptive feminine yin energy of the Queen of Pentacles, it's watery as well. watery, earthy energy, and with more water coming in. And the more still we can become, the more we can hold on to this really divine flow that's coming in, that is coming from the really high realms here. And I think that if we think about this as Virgo energy and priestess energy, we can see this chalice as being the vessel of holding very high spiritual energy. And Scorpio actually, I'm talking about spooky ghosts here, but really Scorpio is a highly spiritual sign, right? It's about this is something that's so ruled by the dark feminine, right? This power of death and rebirth that's coming. The chalice is a womb, right? So where there's death, there's going to be a birth. They are inherently divisible. Like nature, trust the cycles of nature, because when something dies, nature does not avoid vacuum space, right? It's always going to be filled up with something. And so this is really speaking to, a new project, a new inspiration, but also a vulnerability, like letting your emotions flow freely. And I think that we have also really been really strongly moving through this initiation with Mars in Cancer in this eclipse season, and navigating really tough emotions and having to, be spiritual warriors, right? With really being mindful and careful with our emotions, right? And not causing harm on ourselves or others, right? It's a both and, but anyway, this is beautiful. I cannot believe how much this reading gets better and better, because the next card is the Sun card. So this is really strong Leo energy. This is actually probably the best card in the deck, actually, aside from this one. Right. It speaks to creation. Both of them speak to creation. The Sun card is the house that's ruled by Leo. It's very much about creativity, right? And joy and happiness and bliss and all these things. And this is really speaking to a lot of creative abundance. And really the Sun card, that is the inner child, or that's the Christ itself. Wow, this is the rebirthing of the Sun when you think about it, new cycles, the death of the Sun at the end of this zodiacal year, and then the birth in solstice, right? Winter solstice. So there's a beautiful promise coming through, a new life, right? Yes, oh my God, that's so crazy, right? The sequence. The sequence of the chalice, right? Of the chalice and birthing this new creation, right? We can trust, right? We can trust when, we don't doubt that the rose, right? That the rose is going to bloom. We don't doubt that that's going to happen, right? We see the bud and we don't doubt that she will bloom, right? And that's just nature, right? So with death comes life, bringing energy. And the final outcome of this card, wow, is the Lovers. Wow, the Lovers. Wow, really, can you get any better than this? This is how beautiful is this? After all the things that we've been through with the Sun in Libra, with the solar eclipses, with Mars being in Cancer and Pluto being in Capricorn, this is beautiful. This is union between these warring sides. Wow, the candle just went out. Wow, amazing. I don't know what that is a symbol of. Well, death again. Endings. Because what is promised with this death is creativity, again, the creation, right, of these two opposite. There's a reconciling force. You see that this is this angel between the lovers, right? It's this reconciling force of opposites, right? And it's like there's this blessing from above. I mean, this is also like Adam and Eve. You can even see into that, right? But this is also the Gemini card. And right now, Jupiter is in Gemini. And again, we're moving into Sagittarius season. So I think that there is this like a little bit of a foreshadowing pointing to Sagittarius energy, right? But you know, we should, I mean, I'm not sure if how much I explain this card. I mean, this could be hypervigilance, right? And I think that speaking again back to the trust of, you know, things unfolding in a balanced way, right? Like what is dark, with dark comes light, and that balance of dark and light and death and rebirth, that we shouldn't be too hypervigilant over all the woundings. Actually, Jupiter is in a sextile with the wounded healer. That's interesting. Because this is the challenging energy of this reading. The wounds, the shit we've been through, and the hypervigilance that we might be in, right? Right. So what's the opportunity here? What is Jupiter offering with this? I think Jupiter symbolizes, well, it's the benefic, it's one of the benefics, right? Venus and Jupiter. It brings blessings and good luck and good fortune. It brings spiritual awareness, spiritual insight, coherence into what seem to be warring energies together in harmony. So I think that that's something to contemplate, right? What if, I said this at the start of the eclipse portal, what if we could see beyond the lens of our woundedness? What if we were able to take the woundedness out of our perceptions? I mean, it's like high concept, right? But if we were able to step outside of that woundedness, we'd be able to see the potential. We would be able to see the Jupiter is the potential, is the expansion, that our world can be much bigger. We could be seeing through a very small frame because of our woundedness, right? And our hypervigilance, perhaps. But there is a potential to not be in this warring state, and to get into a space of union and harmony and coherence. Coherence. And I think that the reading overall is really speaking to the heart, speaking to the courage. The courage. And ultimately, the pursuit of happiness is happiness, right? Not happiness itself, actually. So, you know, I'd say keep going after that inspiration that came through. And maybe this week inspiration is going to come through with Mercury and Uranus, right? We could be freeing ourselves from some sort of mental criticism that, self-criticism, or maybe it's actually a really inspiring idea that's coming through. And just give ourselves the time to sort through that energy, be reflective, right? Be receptive to that inception. Conception. Conception. Where is that Lover's card? The conception. Ooh, the conception. Okay, this has been a long reading, so I'm going to end it there. I think this is a beautiful place to leave it at with the Libra moon today, that we're closing out this moon cycle with the Lover's card, because Libra, the beauty of Libra is not in appearance, but in the harmony and the justice that we feel in our lives and around us. And that's the Venusian expression of Libra, is the beauty and the harmony. Okay, I'm going to leave you there, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy this new moon in Scorpio. It's very powerful. Let yourself, go through any sort of release rituals that speak to you, even if it's just a nice, hot, quiet bath, right, with some Epsom salts and just relaxing and letting go. Okay, hope you're moving through the energy with much love, ease, and grace, and see you next time.